Hi, everybody.
We're going to start this off a little bit different today. One, because I'm eating, and two, asa itadakimasu. And two, two, just to change it up. How about you all introduce yourselves? We'll just go around and pick up where the other person left off. Introduce yourself, a little bit about you as a gamer, and maybe your character and what your character is doing, their goals, perhaps. Go you there forth. We'll start with Andrea.
Damn it. All right. Yeah, so I'm Andrea Elliott-Johnson. Me as a gamer. I don't know. For the most part, really, I've only gamed with you guys, so I don't really have necessarily a style other than just trying to, have fun with it. I mean, I feel like I'm kind of playing a similar character to Sarah from before, in a way. But, I'm trying to have fun with it and do something a little different. Yeah, and my character's name is Leah Mizrahi. She is a former Israeli IDF. Yeah. I almost said STF, and I was like, wait. But, so yeah, she decided, she served for about 10 years. Then she decided, I want to start a family, and so she did. And then after a while, turned out that things weren't going so great in the area where she decided to settle down in Israel. So she decided to move to Detroit, which is definitely, better. Hopefully, maybe. We'll see. It kind of seems like maybe not so much now, but...
Let's move on to Holker.
The name's Daniel.
Whatever.
Yeah. Holker. Anyways, yeah, I've gamed off and on, both role-playing games, a lot of video games, and LARPs. You wouldn't know what that is, would you?
No, nothing.
Absolutely. No idea. And my character's name is Toni Czerniak. Toni is a former aspiring priest, now border guard. Makes the lives of Canadians a little harder. Is certain that something is out there. Absolutely certain that something is out there. Kind of like I don't want to say the character of Mulder from X-Files. It's not quite that, but at least they have that in common.
Driz.
Okay, we got a minute and 40 seconds before an ad break. So I'm Drizzle. This is the only real long campaign that I've ever played in. I've played little one shots and stuff off here and there, and started in other campaigns, but they never lasted as long as Richmond Tay did, and into this one. Simon Vincent is a hard-boiled detective. He was a private investigator. He was a detective with the police force, but bad things happened, and he took early retirement, and just decided that this was easier to go through now. If you want to go, Ken, you got a minute, or we can kill a minute till the ad break.
We got it. Ken, do it.
Nord. I mean, seriously. Let me start off with, my name is Ken, and I've been playing, this is the 7th time that I've played the Red Writ with these guys, but before that, we played various other DreadLore games. I haven't played any other role-playing games except for DreadLore. But when I was in high school, I played some Dungeons and Dragons, and might have made a little Dungeons and Dragons movie that was highly anticipated and very terribly panned by critics and fans alike. So we won't go into that. And then, Nord is the character. Nord Zetterberg is the character that I play. And Nord is just a very wholesome family man. He loves children. He's he's very anti-drugs. He is a compulsive truth teller, and the reality is none of that stuff is true. He is a journalist who goes around the world trying to find. He's like a 1980s version of the ghost tracker people. Might have gotten a little off track because of his bad habits, but now that he's met this group of fine individuals, I'm sure that Simon, Leah, and Toni will get him back on the straight and narrow for sure.
Yeah. Are we in an ad yet?
No, we're already a minute into the ad, so
Indeed. How much more ad time do we have?
45 seconds.
I think we should talk
on.
about the book and the link tree. I don't know.
Oh yeah,
why
don't you talk about the book?
The DreadLore.
All of you have a book.
It exists.
My book.
I gotta find it.
It looks like this on the inside.
It looks like this on the outside. And there are pages. Books, smart things, writing, pictures.
Numbers sometimes.
Numbers. Occasional misspellings.
Yeah, keep on going. I'm gonna make my.
And the ad break is over. And we'll discuss.
Yeah, no, it's good.
Like
we're just starting out, so little dead air is great. Oh no, and we could wrap up what happened last time to the best of our ability. If you want, I think Toni should start. What happened last time to Toni?
Hey.
Yeah.
One good thing about using Discord. Okay, it doesn't suck. It doesn't suck, but it is a little dumb when it comes to the audio stuff. One good thing is you can pop out and pop back in.
Sure.
Yeah, there's the book. Here's the book.
Your camera's off.
Yeah, your camera's still off.
We can't.
Oh, good.
We can't see it.
Excellent.
No.
Here's the book, although it got waterlogged last night because we had a tropical storm in Los Angeles. It was in my car. I thought it was safe. It wasn't safe in the car. Yeah, great. So that's everybody. We talked about the book a little bit, which you can get. Well, we can get to that later. Let's do this little intro first. I don't know why I put my intro to the side, because then I have to do this to read it. It's not very smart.
They're like cue cards. Have like a little midget, that I can't get like cue cards that have little, get a little midget to flip them for you.
Yeah, I could do that. Greetings, we're the Dreadies. We're playing DreadLore. It's a tabletop role-playing game system that focuses on immersive and cooperative storytelling. Speaking of, Andrea, you mentioned your role-playing. I was thinking about that earlier. You were like in character like all the time. I think you do a great job.
Oh, shit.
Indeed. So we're playing DreadLore. This is our campaign. Everybody say it at the same time. The Red Writ.
Writ.
Let's say it like we're not mentally challenged. The Red
Red
Writ.
Red.
The red. Red.
Maybe we are. Imagine. Dun, 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 dun. Detroit. I need some background music. Drizzle or Ken, give me some, some cyberpunk. Imagine Detroit, 1982, where some weird things are going on, but only a few people are seeing it. A small group of people, our players, have found themselves in the middle of it. An ancient horror, the unknown, a twisted fate. Something within each of them compels them to search on for the truth, even if it means the worst. Join us as we discover the truth of the Red Writ. Media production is by Couchfire Media. Music is by all lowercase letters and Mr. Interrupt. Special thanks to our Patreon patrons, recurring stars Tim Roberts, narrative NPCs Daniel Hulker. Yeah. For links, speaking of, if you want to get a book, go to DriveThruRPG, look for DreadLore, LORE. We've also got the link tree in the description and the official website, dreadlore.com, all that good stuff. If you want to support us via Patreon, that would be awesome. And different projects that we're doing. And then also, if you want to like, subscribe, please do those things. At least follow. It's free and it really, really helps us. Okay. Our weekly schedule includes going live on Twitch every Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern. The podcast premieres on Wednesdays and Fridays, so you can do that at whatever podcasting thing you use. Episodes are posted weekly onto YouTube on Fridays. Oh, also, we've started doing DreadLore After Hours. And that occurs directly after this stream. I think we'll probably start at about 10:45 p.m. And at the very least, it will be myself and Ken, probably Drizzle. And we'll be talking about awesome things. There's the call to action. Who is our sponsor for the evening?
Our sponsor is a particular dojo lost its console.
Oh.
Has to get it back.
Uh-oh. Is it the Dancher dojo?
Yes. The Dancher dojo.
Indeed.
They lost the console and they got to get it back.
Sounds like we're in trouble.
Sounds like
and
we're in
their
trouble.
enemy
In double trouble.
is on
Double trouble.
Is on 1 quarter. 1 quarter. You hear that? 1 quarter is all it is.
1 quarter is all you need, baby.
That's
So what Hulker is talking about? Go on.
No, I'm done.
Oh, what Hulker is talking about is Double Brothers Double Trouble. This is a short film that we filmed back in 2019 and actually finished by the graces of Couchfire Media, and all lowercase letters. And it actually just got into a film festival, the Louisville International Film Festival. Yeah.
Nice.
And will premiere in October, the 5th through the 7th, at some point. And then after that, there's an online viewing as well on the 7th. There'll be more information as it comes out. And hopefully it gets into at least 1 or 2 other ones. Indeed. So we've already done our players and characters. Let's do a little bit of a session, a recap. Okay. The group reunites at Toni and Simon's apartment building. By the way, Toni, is your name spelled with an I or a Y?
I'm going to go with I.
Good job, Toni. We're going to give you a pip for going along with me there. All right. The group reunites at Toni with an I in Simon's apartment building. Nord disguises the damage on Toni's door with a note, and Simon instructs Rebecca Foster to tell police that Toni accidentally discharged his weapon. The group decides to head to Belle Island. On that last note, is that actually right? Did I misremember it?
No, yeah, and that I was taking him to the hospital because
Right.
he to cover up why we left the scene.
Because I remember you spent a pip to change it a
Yep.
little bit, and I was like, ugh. Right. The group decides to head to Belle Island. Nord wants to show them what he saw. On the way, a train of first responders arrive at the apartment. Leah tells Nord that she went to spy on her husband, Marcus, who she's convinced is cheating on her. Leah noticed Marcus's beat-up Corolla parked at the Love Inn. Get it? So she camped in the Coffee Stain Cafe across the street to spy. Another point, the Coffee Stain is a common location, a recurring location in Tim Roberts' Hunter and horror games, which I totally lifted. She confided in Emma Jorgensen, a seemingly good-natured waitress, about her situation. After a couple hours, Leah gave up, stole the Corolla, and drove back to meet the boys. Arriving in the Docks district, Leah stitches up Nord's injuries. Simon looks for a better way to cross the river than the shambly Old Bell walking bridge. He notices a gas-powered boat locked up in the abandoned riverside marina nearby. Leah and Nord opt to traverse the shambly Old Bell walking bridge, which was smart. They spend their time traversing the rickety bridge, overcoming their fears and reaching the other side. Nord leads the pair down to Kayak Beach and then into the Central Forest. If you guys want to make note, that is actually what it's called, Kayak Beach, that route you took. Meanwhile, Simon, Toni, and Mariah head to the spooky marina. Simon notices recent footprints, while Mariah finds an odd room full of tribal-esque costumes and masks. She uses one to scare Toni out of his senses. We probably should tell people who Mariah is. I will put that on Drizzle.
Mariah is Leah's daughter. Mariah knows Annabelle, who knows Gabby, which is the girl that is missing that we found out just ran away.
And who is playing Mariah?
You are.
Indeed, because she's a narrative NPC. Indeed. The three, Simon, Toni, and Mariah, find the working gas-powered boat and steer it to Belle Island. They find two paths which lead in different directions, one to Kayak Beach and one into the northern forest, which you guys, Leah and Nord had gone to the central forest. Mariah thinks she hears her mom yelling from the beach, so the three move in that direction. Leah and Nord enter the forest and find an ancient obelisk carved roughly into the shape of a humanoid animal. Freaked out, Leah shoots the statue. Just then, and sphinxes it. Just then, a thunderclap. Anyway, a torrential downpour hits the island, compelling Simon, Toni, and Mariah to enter the forest. Is the group trapped until the storm ceases? What now? What now? What do you do now? Is the real question.
Nord is freaking out.
Yeah.
Absolutely freaking out.
The action is on, you all. Setting the stage a little bit. Leah, Nord, you are at the statue. Remember, it's a dense forest, much denser than it should be. You can hear the rain and thunder. It is a torrential downpour, although you're shielded quite a bit. Like, neither one of you are wet right now. So just some droplets coming through the canopy. The rest of you cannot see them. So you're far enough away, and it's dense enough of a forest that you can't see them. Although in reality, you're about 200-300 feet away. Go ahead, Leah.
I was gonna say, I had an idea that I feel like is kind of wonderfully mischievous. So can I use a pip to say when I took the car, I left a note basically and put it under, put a small rock on it so it wouldn't blow away, that just said, "I know, Leah."
So would you take the car or not?
No, I did take the car, but in the spot where the car was parked, I just put a note with a rock on top of it.
Yes, you can do that, absolutely. And we'll say that because you spent a pip, yeah, you did it. So pips, for everyone, for the chat, pips can change a minor element of the past. Narrative points change minor element of the present. We're going to do a high-low to see if this torrential downpour or something else ruins the note. So, call high or low. And Nord, will you roll me a d12?
I'm gonna say low.
It is low.
Dun-dun. Well, indeed. I won't describe what it is since it's in that cutscene. Or in a cutscene I don't want to do.
Yeah.
But we'll say that you've somehow affixed that note. You somehow fixed it with a rock. We'll say maybe there's some sort of a park bench or something nearby, and it's still there on really good paper. You burned it into a block of wood and put it down. All right, action's on you
that
guys.
sounds about on brand, but
Would I have been able to hear the gunshot, or is it?
Oh yeah, you
Okay.
absolutely heard the gunshot.
That was a gunshot, guys. I think we need to head that way. Mariah, jump on my back here, and I'll carry you through this.
Mariah scrambles up on your back. You're all wet. You feel her little arms, kind of choke you a little bit.
Yep. And I will start to head in the direction of the gunshot through the woods.
I will follow along as well.
What's up, Lil Gotham?
you.
Indeed. Meanwhile, Nord and Leah, Nord, you are tripping balls. As described in last session, the forest is live. It is brilliant colors. Statue's eyes or the obelisk's feral eyes are glowing, seemingly staring at you both, casting a Sauron's gaze all over. And Leah, yeah, you are standing there with the smoking gun.
With a now noseless statue. So Leah will basically look around and say, "No, that's not enough to get you to come out." Okay.
There are little motes of fire. When you shot the statue, it actually sparked, and you blew off the nose, and the little pieces of rock cast a flame and are in the forest, smoldering. They're not going to cause a forest fire or anything, but yeah, it was an odd occurrence, like an 80s movie, like it went and sparked.
Okay, I have more bullets. She'll point the gun to the statue again.
Nope. The statue's good. No more bullets are needed for the statue. Let me look at it at the very least. I mean, I don't know, like, why you're firing on this statue, because it doesn't make any sense, but at least let me take a photo and see if there's any markings on this, see what the importance is. This could definitely have some archaeological importance. I mean,
archaeological importance in the middle of freaking Detroit, Michigan. You think nobody else has seen this before?
It's a pretty old city. I mean, these look like they've been around for a couple 100 years. I mean, I don't think we need to be destroying, history. So I think we're good. We should keep this.
You cannot
untouched.
tell me that you can't tell we're being watched.
It doesn't matter if we're being watched, but like somebody's gonna know that we've been here at the very least. I mean, keeping a low profile, I think, is part of what we should be doing, and this is not low profile. I feel like we just need to calm down for a second. And I know you're feeling up and antsy, and it's big, but just I mean, I got you at like a 35, and I need you at like a 9.
You really,
Simon?
Welcome back just a little bit.
You're coming through the foliage as up ahead, 50 some odd feet. The ground and terrain is rooty, and I mean, it's a forest. It's unkempt, wild forest, so it's uneven and such. 50 feet or so up ahead, you notice these two, and just beyond them, this 10-foot, 12-foot tall obelisk in the shape of sort of a humanoid animal creature looking thing. It's very rectangular and boxy.
Okay. So, because I studied the obelisk up on the hilltop.
Yep.
So does it look very similar, or does it look different?
So it looks different. The one
Okay.
on Bald Hill
Yep.
Cemetery was much smoother. It was more Washington Monument style.
Okay.
It looked more like a what do you call it? It's not a tombstone, but it's what rich people put on their
Mausoleum?
tombs.
yeah.
Yeah, but you don't put dead people in it.
It's just a monument.
Yeah, it's like, thank you. It's just it looks more like a monument, the one on Bald Hill. This one looks ancient, and it's carved, well, like I said. Some of the writings maybe look familiar, but you'd have to get up there and look.
Yeah. Okay. Mariah, don't be afraid. I'm gonna pull out my gun.
Oh shit, my mom has her gun out again.
Well, let's hope that I can get on bead on whoever she's shooting at.
Well, don't shoot her.
I'm not. I'm going to try and see what she's shooting at in case she needs help.
As she just sort of hunkers down.
Okay.
Toni, what are you doing?
I am. I'm gonna hunker down at this point, and does the obelisk have any sort of writings on it?
Yeah, it has writings all over it, but it's about 50 feet in front of you. And between you, we'll say that you're in the back. So right in front of you is Simon. Mariah's on his back. Terrain and such. And then you see Nord and Leah out there. Leah has a gun out. And a few feet beyond, on this little outcropping, nestled in all these vines and trees, is this scary looking statue.
I have a pistol as well, by the way.
Of course. Is everyone packing heat?
Or doesn't.
Mariah pulls out her gun.
Yeah.
What? Annabelle gave it to me for protection.
I feel like Nord is still trying to.
Hold on,
convince,
my sound went. You guys role play. I'll fix my sound.
Leah to put her weapon down, because I know it's weird out here, but these are just thoughts and feelings you're having. This is I'm gonna keep my distance between Leah and not step in front of her gun, but just kind of ease closer with my arm, hands out. We're all friends here.
I say,
what's
hey,
going on? Why did you shoot that statue?
You shot the so you shot the statue?
Are you talking to me, or are you?
Yeah, I'm asking you.
What are you doing? When did you guys get here?
Just now.
I'm back.
Did the statue attack you?
No, there are people watching us in these woods, and I know that they would like this thing, whatever it is about.
So what was it, a warning shot?
It was. I gave them the warning that I was going to shoot it if they did not show themselves, and I shot it.
So you just shot the statue for no reason. And I'll put my gun back into my pocket.
I say,
It is not no reason.
Well, can we examine it again before you shoot it again? Do I detect any? Can I see if anybody's around?
Oh yeah, you can look
And
around.
use my
Yeah, what do you?
scent of colors to see if I feel them. I know I'm tripping on mushrooms right
You're
now.
tripping on balls.
So,
What
so I mean, I would.
what do you bid?
I'm gonna bid the scent of colors and maybe use my vagabond trait
So you're
to
gonna
like see if I.
are you using Vagabond to activate like what is
Yeah,
the
to
bid
act-
for the action?
The bid is because you pick a trait, right?
Yep.
Vagabond to
Yeah.
see if there's anybody around,
Yeah.
but I want to use my ability, the sense
Okay,
of colors,
so-
to
okay, cool.
really,
So you
really feel it.
so you bid Vagabond to look around and try to find someone, and you
Yeah.
bid another trait to activate Scent of Colors, which you could
Yeah,
use Scent of Colors to do so if you wished.
yeah.
Okay,
That's
there's two traits.
what I want to do.
Nord, as you go ahead and describe, what does this look like? I've described it several times when you use this power, but how does
Well,
it look to them?
it's like a reddish, like a hue, like a aura.
Mm.
And so Nord thinks he can see things that are just maybe they're there, maybe they're not there, but he like looks and focuses so incredibly that it's kind of like a prism or RGB kind of thing where everything has this reddish haze and like a blue light, and it's like he's looking for just, you know, when it's dark at night and you can only see a little bit of an outline. You know, he really just feels intently with his eyes, I guess. That's what makes him such a decent photographer. And he almost smells it. I mean, he uses kind of like his ears, his smell, his taste, his eyes. It's like a full body thing where you know how they have those sticks even that can find
divining
water.
rods.
He kind of does his,
Lil Gotham says he can see the fabric of reality.
yeah.
I like
well,
that.
I mean, it's certainly there is an aura around everything, and he's in touch with that.
There's
or at least he
definitely
thinks
an
he-
aura around everything right now. Yeah, as you guys see Nord kind of hold his hands up, you know, he sticks his tongue out like what's the dance? You know, the dance in the Polynesians islands. Is that what it is? Where's the rock from?
Yeah.
Is it
I'm guessing
Polynesian?
Samoa.
Yeah, Samoa. That's what I'm
The
thinking.
dance is called the haka.
Yeah, the haka, like he sticks his tongue out big time. His eyes go wild, like that scene in Super Troopers when he eats. Although if anybody's seen Super Troopers,
Yeah.
anyway, his eyes are dilated like almost all the way. He's completely covered in sweat. Now, granted, it's super humid out here, but Nord is like sweating like a beast. Hands out, palms out, you know, kind of like horse stance, looking around like a gecko. That's
but
what he
he's
looks like.
he's definitely extra because, you know, the loud shot of the gun, and he's just like, he wants to will the whole situation to come back to a normal place. It's like
Indeed,
he's
and
rising above his trip.
in typical, right, you're controlling the mushrooms you took. in typical being high fashion, man, the world like catches almost like a spider web in your grasp. And you can like move your hand and you see the trees waving with your hand. You like look around, you can like move grass and stuff. You look at the statue and it's like looks down at you. You hear this deep voice that I can't do. It goes, "Hello, Nord." And the ground rumbles with the thunder above. Go ahead and throw down. We'll see if you see anybody. None of you all see this. Huh? So
It's
the
an
action
action.
die, and I'd say wits.
Was it wits? Not mine.
Mind, if you're trying to control the trip, it would be mind. If you're just trying to
Yeah.
look around and see stuff, it'd be wits. Now, here's the thing. Are you using mind?
I will. I mean, he's taking it in, so maybe he's not. He doesn't want to control it. He wants it to.
Okay, so it'd be wits.
Like he's kind of insta-meditated, so he feels and smells everything.
Yeah, you're letting
and,
it happen.
like,
I dig.
Feels the presence of the world come to him. You know,
Yep.
because it's an external. He's like, are there people here? And he's trying to feel them.
Oh yeah. So if you do wits, it's that feeling, that perception, otherworldly perception.
Yeah.
If you mind, you're essentially attempting to control the trip. You're going to get the same result. However, if you fail, two different stakes. So using wits or mind.
Wits.
All right, do it.
And I did fail.
What would you get?
I got
you get?
0 successes. If I use the Senate of Colors, I do get a +2. So I get 2
Yeah.
successes.
So I haven't told you the threshold yet.
Oh.
So
And
the threshold is 2. So you're at limbo right now.
and can I use my my expression
Yep.
trait
Absolutely.
to re-roll? And that is a 9, so that's an additional success.
You got a 9. That's actually 2 more
Yeah.
successes, right?
Oh, 2. So that's 2
Right.
more.
So a 4 to a 7 is 1 success, and 8 above is 2 successes. So you get a narrative point because you beat it by 2. And you blew it up. Holy shit!
Is it? I'm looking for a pen.
Oh, that's cool.
So with this, can I use my narrative point? Because I never used my narrative point.
Absolutely do it.
And can the narrative point be that, I don't know if this is true, but whoever was going to be on the island at this moment knew the weather report, and they're not going to be on this island for this moment?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it's raining.
Absolutely.
It's, like, why would anybody be out here on a
Okay.
time?
So I dig that. It actually makes my life more simple. As Nord, you're sitting there feeling the fabric of reality, the tapestry, just going with it. This action is going to take a little bit of time. You're kind of out of it as you guys see Nord kind of like walking 1 foot, it's all wide stance, arms up like so. And Nord, you start going up around the statue. As you do, the statue's head is turning like the Exorcist and watching you. You hear it whisper, "Yes, that way." As you start going that way. What are the rest of you doing? This is going to take a few minutes as Nord is freaking out.
I start to ask him if he brought his camera to maybe get a picture of this, but then I realized, yeah, he's high.
Leah, let me look at the statue first. Then if you want to destroy it after I'm done, you can. I don't care. Just I want to see what it looks like first before... See if there's any evidence to gain from it.
Okay, but at least tell me you can't tell that there is somebody watching us here.
I do not feel that, no.
Okay.
Maybe the
And I
person
will-
watching us is another dead guy.
That would be worse.
You could have felt us coming through the forest, to be honest.
I mean, I guess that's possible.
And I'm gonna go investigate the statue.
Okay. You start going over there. The rest of you, action is on you. Nord, you're doing your thing. Simon, you're doing your thing. What are you two doing?
Leah will just basically, keep her gun down by her side, but be looking around the forest for any possible things that.
I will also do the same because, I mean, who knows? I think Leah might be onto something. Someone might actually be out there.
Are either of you going to bid anything to do this, or are you just sort of going to react to the world?
I'll bid my wits to do it.
You
I'll
cannot bid an aspect
Oh,
unless you have
okay,
it as
I'll
a
bid.
trait.
That's fair. I will bid. I'll bid my trait combat certified.
Hey. So describe what that looks like to Toni as the other two are engaged in something.
Okay, so basically, kind of the standard phrase, keep your head on a swivel kind of thing. Leah's trying to keep, slowing down her heart rate, basically sort of, her arms aren't crossed, but she's definitely sort of trying to center herself. But you see her just sort of, moving her head side to side in a very methodical and very, diligent action of basically just trying to constantly look around and see if someone seems out of place.
Indeed. Simon, I always want to call you Poe. Simon, when you get up to this obelisk, you see it as I described, 10, 12 feet tall. There are carvings. It's ornately carved, decorated, with squiggly lines and all sorts of stuff, including it being carved into the shape of kind of a humanoid animal. I'm struggling with a word to actually say that. It's not a humanoid animal. There's a word. Anthropomorphized animal. Whatever. They do look, these carvings, they do look like a language of some sort, and it is reminiscent of stuff you've seen before.
Okay. Is it
There's blood in them, or perhaps it's sap, like in the grooves. It looks very old.
Is it the same language that's on the Leah's paper?
Do you bid anything or do anything to confirm?
Can we remind me our names and stuff at the top where it's character name is who
Yep.
is a what?
Those
We
are
bid
all
those,
traits.
right? I'm going to bid my who does action, and that's detects.
As your memory is very good, and you're also looking for this, it does look just like the same language.
Okay.
As these runes, this script, could easily be mistaken for decoration, as it's sort of wrapping around like bracelets and necklaces and maybe even some sort of garment that this lion-esque type of thing is wearing.
Okay.
Since you also bid that you detect, you'll note that the type of stone that it is seems unusual. As maybe you look around at the stone, the rocks protruding from the ground, and they're a different color. The rock does not look like it came from here.
Okay. So this statue, it has the same writing on it that piece of paper you had. I think that this is all, whoever is doing this communicates with that language.
Maybe it's just a code for English.
Yeah.
You
Or
mean like
they
a,
can,
like a cipher, as Mariah says.
Yeah.
that's pretty good. You are smarter, BB.
As Mariah, Leah, you see Mariah's still hanging around, like riding Simon, like, you know, like around his neck, like a kid at a theme park. She gives a big winning smile as he praises her.
So, when Leah shot it, the little picture or little chunks and stuff blew off of it, right?
Yeah, in fact, you can see there's no fire anymore, but there's a few chunks that are in the forest and under the undergrowth. But you can see little plumes of smoke from where they're smoldering. There's 2 or 3 of them.
Oh, okay. So I will go over to one and bend down and I'm not going to touch it at first. I'm going to put my hand above it to see if it's still hot and if I can pick it up.
It's definitely hot.
Okay, then I won't. I'll maybe wait a few minutes and see if what little rain comes through, cools it off but I'm not going to pick it up right now.
Leah, seeing him do that, will sort of, squint her eyes a little bit and say, "That's odd. It shouldn't be like that. They shouldn't have caught fire like that. I'm not using incendiary rounds, so it's not like even if it was something that was flammable, it shouldn't have done that."
This stone is not from around here. This could be some sort of flint type stone or something like that. I don't know. Once it cools
Flint
down,
sparks.
I'll
It
pick
doesn't
up.
smolder.
We'll see what. This is abnormal to me, so I'd have to ask
Actually,
somebody.
can I bid Israeli to wonder, in my head, to wonder if this looks like a kind of stone that'd be from around the Middle East somewhere?
Sure. You have to go up to the statue and inspect it.
I will.
But yeah.
After, questioning the why it even... And when he says that the stone's not from around here.
Let's see. Let's see if Israel has this kind of stone really quick. Yeah, wow, yeah. In fact, as you're sitting there, Leah, looking at the stone, it does look familiar. As you realize you've seen it in Israel, and has your character been to Egypt?
She would have probably been around, at least on the border, due to conflict and stuff.
It reminds you of the same kind of stone that the pyramids are made of, which is a kind of limestone. Okay. Sort of a goldish limestone. Nord, you get around the side of the statue. You've been high plenty of times. It's about this time as you're going with it, you realize a lot of what you're seeing, maybe you look back up at the statue and it's not looking at you anymore. You realize maybe it's not literally moving, but you can't quite tell what's real and what's a hallucination. That said, you do realize you're tripping balls. As you come around to the side, you see a little hollowed out place behind the obelisk. Almost like a dome of vines that have come down. You could get underneath this. You could get underneath this dome of vines, which you can't see inside unless you get down there and get inside of it. You have to crawl in it. It's dry. It's quite large. it seems maybe it's even some sort of chamber, you know, a natural kind of formation. What you will see, to kind of clue you in that something has gone down in there, is you see some clothing.
Interesting.
And where the undergrowth is, it's all matted down, like someone has been in and out of there.
Like, is it like an altar where like people are presenting something there, or is it like more
so you can't see? You can't see because here's the statue, and then the undergrowth is such to where you'd have to get down and up into it.
Yeah. Can I just put my camera in there?
Yep.
And use the flash, and I'll just do like a quick flash.
Absolutely.
And I'll take a photo as well of beneath the.
Yep, that's what you do.
You know, kind of a blind, and so I'll see if I can see if it gives me a clearer view of what's happening.
You do the flash, and you take a photo. So you kind of like lean down and at the entrance of this thing and blindly take a photo of whatever's inside. From your current vantage point, you cannot see inside of it. Imagine a tent, but the tent is made of vines and limbs and overgrowth. So you can't see through what's opaque. You'd have to go inside of it. But you have ostensibly taken a photo of whatever's inside of it.
Sure. How big of a space is it?
It looks like maybe 10, 15 feet in diameter. As you look around, you see where all the trees and gnarl and hanging things and such. It looks like this has been naturally woven. Maybe think of like a beaver's den, except it's on land. It's quite thick, probably
but
resistant to rainfall and such.
Sure. Can I use a pip to say that I have a flashlight with me?
Yeah. You drop a pip.
I never gave that flashback to Tony after he gave me his flashlight. I just pull it out of my home.
Oh, you don't need to spend a pip then. You still have it.
Oh. So can I just turn it on?
Yep.
And kind of shine it around there.
Lil Gotham says she's going to give Nord a narrative point for that amazing horror tactic. Love when they use camera flashes to see things. So you get a narrative point.
Oh, nice.
Lil Gotham says, impromptu research break. All right, as Nord is doing all of these things, what are the rest of you doing?
Can I suggest that I found something?
Yeah, you can just say it.
Hey, there's this little room back here under these vines. I'm gonna check it out. As long as you don't shoot me, I'm going in. If you guys want to check it out with me.
I say, do you have a flashlight?
Yeah, I still have Tony's flashlight.
Okay, I'm gonna go over there. Just since you're already using my flashlight.
I think it was Simon's flashlight. I think it was Simon's flashlight.
Is it from my car?
Yeah. Leah gave it to me.
I'm gonna join Nord.
When she was collecting the forest with your Buick.
Leah will go over to Simon and say, actually, I think I recognize this kind of rock. It is similar to, there's some in Israel, but it is most similar to what is found in Egypt on the Great Pyramids.
Okay, so it reacts just like that. So it's normal for that type rock.
I've never seen this kind of stone react like that. That is not no.
Oh, that's odd. Maybe they
and
put
sadly
something
enough,
on it.
and with this, Leah will kind of, tilt her head to the side and look a little bit, ashamed. Sadly enough, Defacing those kind of monuments with gunfire is not that uncommon.
Simon. So the chat knows, just like in our previous campaign, whenever we confuse Simon with anyone, we have to drink.
Yeah.
Simon, the rock piece that you've seen, it looks like it's cooled down a little bit now that some rain has hit it.
Okay. I'll go ahead and pick it up then.
Put that in your bag of holding and never talk about it again. I understand.
No, it'll go in the other pocket because I have the ball in one pocket and I'll put it in the other pocket.
Right. You look like a tennis player. You got like...
Yeah.
All right, action's on you all. What are you doing?
Well, we should go back. We should go back here and help Nord.
Okay, we can do that. So let's go.
Mariah says it's creepy back there, though.
Well, don't worry. Just hold on tight.
You're with foot of us, hon. You'll be fine.
Nord has some like full-on plumber's crack going as he's like trying to get.
Indeed, you get to see some skinny ass Nord ass as Nord. You get down in there, like
Nord is a very, very hairy fellow too. He is a hairy man.
Like Private Gump. You get in that hole. The first thing you sense is the smell. It's really musky in here. It doesn't smell bad per se. It's just very pungent. Like it smells like an animal, like a wet dog or a human, has been here and has been here for a while, sweating. Not particularly BO, mind you. I wanna make that something very pungent. Perhaps it's a fragrance, or an oil or something. So that's the first thing that hits you.
Can I bid world? I think I'm a world traveler somewhere. To kind of know what that smell is.
Sure.
Oh no. Out of game, I'm pretty sure I know what this is.
Or child of the world.
Mm-hmm.
As the scent assails your nostrils, stings the nostrils, like Sex Panther. Anybody? Okay, doesn't matter. As your eyes water and such, you have sensed, you've smelt this before. It's heavily used in like witchcraft circles and all around the world. And I use witchcraft as a very loose term, quote unquote pagan type of rituals and such. It's a melange of different incense. You definitely smell musk, like an Egyptian musk, and patchouli, sage, just a whole slew of them. But there's something extra. It's almost like burnt animal fat. And that, like you've been in places where rituals have happened. And that's what the scent is. It's some sort of burnt fat. So that's what you sense it first. As you go in, maybe you're just at the entrance. You look in, this place it's quite dark. You've got your flashlight out though. Those clothes you saw, actually, it's not just clothes. It's fabric that's lining the ground in here. Different assortments. There's some pillows all around the circle. It's like this little earthen natural yurt looking thing. In the center, you see a statue with a stone, a little tiny stone table. There's wax all over it, various bits and pieces. Yeah, it looks like an altar of some sort. Over to the side, there's it's rather round, so there's no corners. But on the far side, what looks like a gourd is there, and a hand drum. And you feel the presence of everyone else standing directly behind you.
Do I see like blood, like a lot of blood somewhere where
You'll have to get in there and check her out.
Yeah, can I kind of look around in there and check it out?
You start poking around. What are the rest of you doing? You going in? You hanging out? Nord disappears in the hole.
Go ahead.
I got my flashlight trained on them, and I'll probably follow them in.
All right, Toni goes in the hole. Toni,
Leah
your
will,
eyes water.
will probably. Leah probably won't go all the way in, but she'll sort of, lean back against the entrance and keep an eye out.
She half holes it. What about you, Simon?
I'll stand guard.
All right, as you're outside, Mariah, smelling the musk, goes, "Oh, I'm not going in there. Oh, it smells like, it smells like butt."
I wonder if this is where the masquerade will be.
Yeah, Nord and Toni, you're inside. Leah, we'll say that you're crouched down right at the front, so you can kind of see. You can see them messing about in there, but you don't have a clear view. It looks as I described it. So you two, are you going to bid anything as you're in here, or are you just sort of poking around?
Well, just looking around. I mean, I'm wondering if this is a crime scene or not. Can I bid forensics to see if like anything untoward has happened?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Toni, you see Nord being very careful. You can't fully stand up in here unless you're in the center, and then you'd still probably have to hunch a little bit. So you kind of have to be crouched as you move around. Think of like going through a crawl space. But you see him being very careful, picking things up, maybe with a stick, moving things with his flashlight and such. Are you doing anything specific, Toni?
No, I say, Nord, does any of this stuff remind you of those statues and that area that we were at? Did you actually go in there, or did you just see me running out?
I saw you running out. I don't think I saw the statue. I mean, I remember the water not tasting very good. I could have told you that. But yeah, no, I've not seen. I mean, I think I've seen the statue before. That's why we're here. But that was before I met you guys. So, I think it's possible that it's connected. But I do want to go and look at the little monolith thing outside again. Maybe take a photo or two of that. But I think for now, this little area looks like, I don't know. I just have a bad feeling of some stuff happening in here. Maybe this is like a squatter place, or maybe some rituals took place here. I don't know. I kind of want to figure out whose clothing this is as well. It's like, is this an apartment, or is it, some kind of ritual? It's hard to say.
Simon and Leah, you can hear them easily as they're talking.
Apartment. This looks like
Is it dry in here?
Yes.
Look, why don't you do you still have a flash on that camera?
Yeah.
Take a
I'll
picture
take some
of this.
photos.
Let's move on.
Yeah, I'll take some photos of this area.
All right.
You take some photos. How many do you
walk
take?
out.
Okay.
I mean,
do
I'll
you
probably
take?
just take a couple of wide shots.
As you
one
had
of
bid,
the altar and some of the clothing.
okay, make a
Sure.
note of the pictures you take. That way, when you come back to them.
Sure.
As you had bid forensics, and this would be
Mm.
before you actually leave Toni, so you're still in there because he's in the middle of this action. The earth opens up and kills you both. All right. That doesn't happen. As you get a great photo of it, though. As you as you bid forensics, looking around, you find a few items. Maybe Toni's flashlight glints off one near the altar as you're taking a picture, and you see caked in the wax. It's various colors of wax, so it's just a melange. It looks like a great mess to the untrained eye. Feathers and such, and you were looking for blood. As you look down and see, you think there's definitely blood, dried on the stone. As something catches your eye, a glint, and you dig around and see a rather large and sharp-looking knife. It has some runes etched into the blade. The the handle of it is wrapped with a black fabric that looks like it has something almost like wax applied to it. And as you investigate it, it looks like the wax has created a better grip. You can actually see some fingerprints on the grip itself. So you find this knife. As you're poking around. Go on.
When I see the knife, I'm gonna yell up to Simon. Do you got a fingerprint kit thing? Can you?
Sure.
Red goes like the movies.
Let me pull it straight out of. No, I don't carry one with me.
All right. So I'm gonna. Can I bid something to get these fingerprints? Because I want to leave this. I'm gonna suggest that Toni, we leave this an enormous. I mean, I know there's a bullet hole in the statue upstairs, but maybe they think some lightning hit it. I feel like we should try to not make it look like we've just in case we come back here, just in case we can,
What do you have in there?
Oh, I got a knife that looks like it's been cutting people or something, animals. It's got some fingerprints on it.
If it's a ritualistic knife, why don't we take it? Because then they can't perform the ritual without the knife.
Looks like there's some other things on the altar as well if you dig around.
We could take it, but I feel like maybe we watch this place at a later date, and so if we start messing with all their stuff, they're gonna know this place is made, and they're not gonna come
mess
back.
With all this stuff. Hold on. I just want to point out that it is entirely possible that whoever's stuff that we would be messing with might have something to do with the undead people that have been attacking us. Maybe we should mess with their stuff. Maybe.
Well, I mean,
maybe they have ceded that moral high ground by bringing people back from the dead to try and kill us.
We've been doing a lot of drugs. These people could be undead. They could be not undead. You don't know
feel
what
like you're
anybody.
thinking with a pretty broad brush there, and I don't think there's any we about that.
We've been doing all these contact high and all that stuff. You're all in here there with me, front back, center, and around. And,
That's a myth.
yeah, I mean, I just think that it'd be good if maybe we didn't disturb the area. I mean, we can. I mean, I guess that's a group call. I think we come back and watch the place, Wednesday night. If we don't know where the ritual is, we come back here. If we find out that it's somewhere else, we don't. But like, if somebody comes back and in the interim between now and then, they're not going to throw their event here if they've noticed that we've messed it all up. So I feel like we just we get some fingerprints. We see if anything's like fucked up, but then let's let it be.
Simon, that's not going to happen. There's no fingerprints that we can take.
I mean, I can take these fingerprints, and I'm going to bid my ability quick and dirty. And
Yeah.
MacGyver up.
Yep. How do you take the fingerprints, Nord?
So I got a little piece of paper, and like I'm a little sweaty and greasy. I rub it on my head, so it's sticky. And then I like take some dirt from the ground and like sprinkle it on to the
Yep.
And then I'll like blow it off so that there's like a little fingerprint mark on this knife, and then I'll press the piece of paper, the greasy piece of paper onto the knife, and I'll get a little impression of
as the scene is as the scene is the camera is like up here, Nord's in it doing this, and in the background you see the rest of you looking like Mariah says in your ear, Simon and Leah, "What's he doing?" As you see his ass, his like hairy ass crack, he's getting in there.
I walk out.
Yep.
don't.
Toni leaves.
I don't know what he's doing, honey. Not what he thinks he's doing.
Nord, as you look, and man, it worked so well. Like you got it. You could definitely ID this person.
He picked up the finger.
Did you roll this up and put it in your pocket?
No, I fold it in half and I take a photo of the knife,
You do. You do. Dicking around in here a little bit more, you will find a couple other things. One, also on the little altar, you see a ring. Looks like a signet ring of some sort. It's as though it's been dropped in the wax. You could pull it out, of course. It's just a little bit in there. Perhaps it's been dropped in, when the wax was wet, molten. You get the idea. You also see something particular and peculiar. A few bones. Maybe they're chicken bones. And then a few on the ground as well. And they look like they have runes carved into them. Looks like there's maybe 10 or 15 of them.
Okay.
Of course, the candles, there's a couple that have not been melted all the way down. And you can tell there's blood has been spilled on the altar.
Well, I'll take my handkerchief and just take a little bit of that blood. I mean, they have DNA and stuff like that in 1982? They got that.
I mean, they do. It just takes, weeks.
I think at that point, the big thing was blood type. So the only thing they could really possibly do is maybe exclude some.
Oh, yeah. So they didn't.
Yeah, we hadn't
really
mapped the chromosomes yet.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah, you can take some blood. Yeah, as you get your little kerchief and get some blood and such. Do you take any of these items?
I vote we don't take them, but I'm not. If somebody else takes them, they can take them. I'm not gonna take them. I'm gonna.
All right, so
tell Toni
does not do it.
That I think we should leave this as is. I mean, if you think you want to take some stuff, I mean, you can do that if you want. But I
What are the
think
rest
we
of you
leave it
doing?
alone. I mean, certainly if we take something, we just, you know, we just
I
take whatever.
I mean, I don't agree, but I pretend to agree because there's a lot of blood in there, and it's like, screw it, leave it.
I mean, I
I
think
got a
we
blood
report this to Duck Idaway. You know, this is a crime scene.
All right, what are you
I
all
think.
doing? Nord is in there, sort of pilfering things, looking around, ranting, high as motherfucker. He's just kind of mumbling to himself here and there, talking about things in the third person. What are you guys doing?
Leah will agree that it's probably like she'll look over and say, well, I mean, I've already disturbed the monument, so best not to make it any worse than it already is.
Oh, one last thing.
Crazy stuff is happening all the time. Yeah, go
I
ahead.
totally forgot. You also see a lock of hair, Nord.
I am going to take a couple of hairs from that lock.
It is black as you inspect it. Yeah, it looks like just a long black hair.
Just one, or?
I mean, it's a lock of hair.
Okay. I mean, can I take a couple of hairs
Yeah.
off the lock of hair?
Mm-hmm. All right, the rest of you. Anything going on? Are you taking actions, or are you waiting on Nord to come out?
Hey, do I remember what color hair the girl that most recently went missing was?
You can ask people if you don't know, or you can throw down to see if you do.
I'll ask Simon, do you remember what color hair the last girl that went missing had?
He's consulting his mind palace.
Yes, I am.
He is very stoic. Suddenly,
As he goes, he looks off to the side, thinking in his mind. The scene goes to, Simon walking through shelves and shelves of information and doors. Like in that, that one. It's not a good movie. It's about aliens. Anyway.
Yeah, the Stephen King one.
Mm.
I know what you're talking about. I think it was black, but I'm not 100% sure.
Well, I just found some black hairs, so I'm gonna leave the lock here. But I took a couple of hairs. I don't know if this helps you. And then I'm gonna take the evidence that I did take from this place: the handkerchief, the lock of hair, and my fingerprint thing that I made.
You got all
I'm gonna
that.
shove it. I'm gonna shove it in Simon's pocket. Simon's like, "Give this to Duck Hideaway."
I will, but I don't know how much help he'll be right now.
Well, I mean, whoever it is that I mean, you're a cop, so, or cop adjacent.
Yeah,
I know you're not a cop. You're cop adjacent. I mean, like, I watched the Rockford Files. I know what's going on. Like, you guys are all together, same team.
Yeah. Well,
Leah and Toni, anything?
He wants to leave that knife there. Hope he gets the good pictures.
so Nord, was that everything you wanted to look at on this island?
I'm gonna go take a couple of photos of what's left of this monolith, and see if I can match. And when we get these off the island, and when we get these, if Leah can help me translate this in whatever code that we did before, maybe we can get some more than more than just spooky prose.
I wonder. The bridge that's in really bad shape, right? That we had trouble. That presumably Leah had trouble crossing, and Simon. Is that bridge intentionally left in such a bad state of repair to because how long has this obelisk actually been here? How difficult would it actually be? This is a pretty popular place to visit.
No, it's not.
As Mariah turns to you and says, "No, we're not allowed to come here at all. Everybody knows that."
And meta speak in present day. There's only one bridge today. Having looked up the island itself. So
well, then
I mean,
okay.
in reality, it's like a theme park.
Let me rephrase. Do you think the fact that the bridge is in such bad repair and no one's really allowed to visit? I mean, do you think that's a coincidence? Do you think they picked this place because it was so difficult, or because people can't visit, or do you think they picked the place and then made it to where people couldn't visit?
it's private property. Some rich person owns this. They don't want people like messing with their thing. I mean, like, private land. They don't want
Mariah pops off your shoulder, Simon. And she starts poking around. Leah, you notice the statue and then the little hut.
I think whatever's going on out here, Nord, Leah, when we got into the marina, there was some costumes and stuff in there. I'm pretty sure that whoever is using this island, the boat that we took is the boat that they use to get out here. They store everything in that abandoned marina and come out here and go as they please. I think they're using that basically as a front to get out to this island and do whatever it is they're doing. These people may actually believe in all this mumbo jumbo and are not just using it as a cover.
Mariah is looking in the hut. She's not entering it. As she's like squinting her eyes in the dim light. Thunder rolls overhead of you guys. There's a constant drone of this downpour that has not let up at all. Water trickling down here and there. You're not getting wet because the canopy is so thick. As Mariah turns and looks over at you, Simon, says, "You think they're all getting dressed up and going in there? It'd be cramped."
I don't think this is the masquerade, but I think that maybe 3 or 4 of them come out and do something here.
But
I
what do
don't
they
know.
do? She looks in there ominously.
Probably not anything that we need to speculate about.
They test out perfumes. If it
It
works
could
in
be
there,
a
it
whole-
works.
What? Perfumes?
Yeah, if it works in there, it works.
Ugh.
Did I see any ropes or anything in there, like to tie anybody up or like
Tell me how I
tie
look.
people down? Hi.
You did not see any ropes.
Oh.
What y'all do? You're stuck in the forest next to this weird hut and a statue.
If you guys are done, we can go get the boat and take it back to the marina. But if you still want to look at some stuff out here, we can try and do it while the rain's letting up a little.
Are there any other paths around here that we could follow?
As you look around, you and your state, your current state, everything is still moving wildly and in Technicolor. you see several paths you could take through the forest, but you're also experienced enough to know that that could be you hallucinating, as in your brain could just be making patterns. Nor you don't see any obvious path, but you could
I
see
don't
places
feel
that
any-
could lead to them.
Yeah, I don't feel any calling in any other direction. Is my
We'll
my
say
calling.
with scent. We'll say with scent of colors still kind of up. The place where you are is very powerful.
Yeah.
You can feel a huge draw to it, but not the
Yeah.
biggest. There's something
Yeah.
else deeper in the island north.
Yeah. And is this the
Yep.
ruins that I took a photograph of before, or did I go
Mhm.
to that?
Yep, this is where
Okay.
you went.
This is
Yeah, there's
the-
something north, a
when-
draw. Go on.
When Leah looks at her watch, what time is it?
Right now, you would ask me that question. I believe it was 2:30 when we ended, which means it'd be like afternoon 3:00, 3:30. I know it's in the afternoon. I don't know where it is. All right. Yeah, we'll say it's 3:30 at this point.
I think we should, just do. Maybe my gut is saying, go look and see. Like, I'm just getting pulled in this direction, and
We'll say
maybe
three.
we give
We'll say
it
3.
Maybe we give it 30 minutes, 45 minutes, and if we don't find anything, let's go back. But I think we're out here. We got several hours of daylight left. I mean, we might as well push in just a little bit further before we take off. We just got here. This is some weird stuff.
That's
Plus,
fine. We can look around a little bit more, but I do have that meeting with Annabelle later.
Yeah, of course. What does she know? Even though I'd like to meet her so she can tell us where Lady Callie is. I think she definitely knows something if she's not wrapped up into all this stuff.
All right. It's
Let's-
all on you guys.
Let's push in just a little bit further. I insist that everybody kind of follow in my drugged stupor. Can I bid something? Can I bid?
We're
bid
on
walk?
an ad for 30 seconds.
Nice.
So let's do a little bit of out of game talk really quick.
Oh yeah.
Let's put a pin in that.
Tell us about your thing that you want to talk about.
Well, the first thing is everybody good on drinks, restroom, etc., etc.?
For the moment.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna get some water. So I say we'll hit another ad, if we can, and
All right.
we'll take like a minute or two break. Second thing is, it's going to be the start of a new scene. So you get all of your traits back because it's a new scene.
Woo!
All your traits back. Any plot armor that's down, you get it back technically, which we're going to honor that. Even though technically you should really rest or whatever, but you get it back. Wounds and such, insanity, you don't get back. But traits,
Technically
proficiencies.
what the mushrooms were for.
Really? Oh, yeah, well,
Yeah.
there you go. You get that back then. So it's a new scene, and there you go. So, it is a new scene as you guys are just outside of this hut. What are you all doing?
You guys want to follow me?
No,
I'm
but I
going
think I'm
to-
going to.
I'll pull you over to the side real quick and just be like, so how messed up are you?
I mean, I've just done a couple of natural foods. Just your average fun guy.
Okay, we'll go this way a little bit, but be careful. We do have a child with us.
She'll be fine. I did this whole dance and like moved around. There's nobody on this island just but us. I mean, look at the rain.
Well,
Nobody wants.
I'm not
do
necessarily worried
anything.
about people. There could be animals out here as well.
I haven't seen one rattlesnake today, and there were like thousands of them. So yeah, just keep an eye out for those guys.
Wait, what's next? Mariah says.
Why were there rattlesnakes? There shouldn't be.
Well, if you run across any rattlesnakes, just don't move. Let them.
We're in
You know.
Detroit, man.
I mean, I don't make the rules. I just know what I saw. So I start. Let's just go this way. It's north. We're just gonna go north a little ways. We'll come right back.
Okay, I will reluctantly start following.
All right. As you guys follow Nord tripping balls into the wild forest, it seems like he knows where he's going at first. Maybe up ahead it looks like there's a little bit of a footpath. You're going within maybe 5-10 minutes, the ground is such to where it's like you're hiking. So there's the high ground, the low ground. You're going up and down, crossing felled trees and this sort of thing through the brush. It's all whipping around you and such. And you have to move it out of the way. Going through Nord, you're going through a bunch of webs, spider webs, all these things, basically very ill prepared because none of you were expecting to hike. And about 10 minutes into your trip, it slowly dawns on all of you but Nord that you're not on a path. And you're lost on the island. As you get to this point where it's not a cliff per se, but it's a sheer or nearly sheer grade. You could descend it, holding on to roots and trees and that sort of thing, and you can see how the quote unquote path kind of bends around off towards the north. You could go. You can see this little premonition, rainwater falling down, maybe a little cave and a small pool of water. So you can go around this way, or you could attempt to descend into this miniature hollow. Visibility is very low. You can see maybe 20, 30 feet in front of you because the forest is so dense. The trees are 40, 50, 60 feet tall, almost completely blocking out the sky, which is still rumbling. You hear the rain. That probably fades to the background because it's so constant. But as you sit there and listen, you can hear that the storm is still going. Very strong. Yep. What you doing?
Just past this hill. This we just gotta cross this little hill. I'm sure it's just we're just gonna go just around this next little bit, just on the other side of this area that
Mariah says, we're lost.
Can I bid a background?
Bidding would be a good idea.
Yeah, so I'm gonna bid Ranger.
Oh yeah, good. And what are you trying to accomplish with this?
To get unlost, or to at least
Yeah, as you bid Ranger, as Nord, you look around, you see the lay of the land and whatnot. Being that there's so much water coming down from the sky, you know it's probably a bad idea to go lower elevation. So you can go back or you can go around the lip. You do get a sense with Ranger of you're pretty sure you're going north.
So I feel like we're kind of going
Yeah, you've kind of been
do I
like
feel like we're going the right direction.
Yeah, you pretty
and
much
my
went
stupor?
Central Island, and
Yeah.
now you kind of have a sense of how to get to the northern part.
Sure. Well, I mean, I think I could find our way back. I've been paying attention. So if we get really just a little bit further, and we'll just a little bit further.
I think you could find some other ways that aren't back too.
I'm sure I could find a way back. I've done. I've hiked in Nepal. And,
we're lost, aren't we, Mariah?
You're not lost. It just mileage is just mileage.
All we have
Mom
to do
gets
is
lost
walk.
all the time too.
All we have to do is
No, I
walk until we
don't.
find a beach, and then once we find a beach, we can walk our way back. So we can't really get lost on this island. So don't worry
Mariah
about
looks
that
up
one.
at you. But haven't you seen a map? In school, they have maps of this island. It's a big island.
Right, but if we walk in one direction till we hit a beach, yeah, it may take us a little bit, but we can't get lost on the island.
I'm
It's not
gonna
that
give
big
you.
of
I'm
an
gonna
island.
look. I'm going to give you 20 more minutes of this goose chase, and then I'm going to start heading back, one way or the other.
Okay. Do I need to bid something else, or does Ranger
Nope,
get us?
you've bid Ranger to go north, and everybody else is just following you. So we
Good.
will montage. If you guys have any advancements to drop, you can do that. Remember, when you advance, you can only advance into. You can advance as many times as you want, but you can't do it multiple times in one thing. So you can't go like upgrade 1, upgrade 2. You have to disseminate them, and preferably it's over something that you've done or actually role played. So no one's learned kung fu is my point.
I don't know. I think Nord fighting Cloyce absolutely.
Nord
learned
does
some
not have kung fu. Nope, that's not kung fu. Okay. Oh no, that's well. You had jujitsu.
Jiu-jitsu. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is more of a grappling thing, sure, but it's good close quarters combat. I mean, that's where you want to be with the zombie, as close to a zombie as possible.
That's right. You want to be right there.
Right
As
there.
we montage, you traverse this more and more difficult terrain. While the canopy protects you from the rainfall, the ground is completely saturated. You're all caked in mud. You're this sort of sucking mud at times. It's all up your pants. Somehow it's gotten on your shirts and such. You're all both humid and wet. There are some mosquitoes. Somehow there are mosquitoes up here, despite the cold. At times you've climbed up and probably gotten a little grumbly. This is a role-playing game, so you don't have to like use the bathroom and shit. But we'll say that you have to do that here and there, and you're starting to get a little hungry and thirsty. As you come up to this outcropping, as you come on top of this rise, trees all over, of course, and there's a bit of a clearing finally. As the hill descends, you see this bowl-shaped clearing, and out ahead, actually, a path appears. And at first, it's packed dirt, which is all slosh and mud, looks very slippery. But then it but from the earth, from the mud, you see some hewn steps, some sort of stone, perhaps concrete, that lead out into the beginning, which you can see of a lake. It's got this very deep aqua water, and there's light rain playing on it, as you can tell because you can't see the sky and such, that it's still underneath the canopy, although it's letting some of the water through. Actions on you all.
Is this what you were coming towards, Nord?
I was kind of hoping for a little more, of a building or something, like a gathering place. And this is just the other. We just reached the other side of the of the other side of the island, basically.
You don't know.
Yeah.
You got no clue. You just know you went north.
Okay. Well,
Can I see the lake?
I'm sorry?
Can I see the lake?
Yeah, you see the beginning of it. So you guys are up on this little rise. There's trees all over, so you can't see the whole thing. But there's that path, and then you see the beginning of this lake. That's that just what I described.
yeah.
I'm gonna walk towards the lake.
Do you bid anything to get down there? It is rather slippery looking.
Oh. You know what? I'll wait until I can find maybe an easier way to get towards the lake.
Okay, to do that, you're gonna have to actually do it. So do you bid something, or do you?
I bid.
Or do you stand there?
I bid. My physicality, which is lanky.
You all see Toni lankily start moving down very carefully, using the trees on either side.
And they can hold me up
avoiding-
because I'm kind of skinny.
That's right. Avoiding, they kind of bow here and there, avoiding the mud. Maybe your foot catches the mud a few times. You see that there's algae on the stone, and it is incredibly slick. But you make it all the way down to where the stones are, or the actual steps. Yeah, and he's on his way down there. What are the rest of you doing?
I'm going to not try to go down there, but try to walk along the higher ground and get closer, but not go down. See if there is a better way to go down, or if not, just get a better look at the lake from the high ground.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. We'll
Leah
say.
will.
We'll say. What do you bid to do this?
Resilient. So I'm
Okay.
because I'm.
I'll have you
resisting,
throw down for it.
Okay.
Threshold to be 1.
You do.
And what about Leah?
Would that be?
Leah will stay close to Mariah and also stay on the high ground with Simon.
Okay. So you kind of follow.
Yeah.
Simon disappears.
That's 1, so I'm at limbo.
Leah, you note as you're following Simon that this seems to be the path, as in the path that Toni took. As you guys are kind of going off of this goat path that you were on, that Nord led you through, you're hiking up higher and higher, and going into the bush, essentially. As Simon, you get up to the top of this thing, maybe we'll say a good 30-40 foot above where you were, and you've gone around to where you can just see Nord still standing at the foot of the path. From here, there is a little bit of a break in the forest, and you can see a sliver down below a wider section of the lake. We'll say that you can just barely see Toni walking around down there. From this vantage point, it looks like a man-made lake, perhaps. It's hard to tell. You're so up high, but think of like a pool. So you'd have stone or concrete, perhaps, that surrounds this oval shape, this oval lake.
Okay.
Trying to get a deal of the map really quick. We just need the map have a link.
You want to see the map?
Yeah, that would actually be really good. I mean, it won't help us, but that way at least the chat can have a semblance of what this actually looks like. Well, the map doesn't really show it, actually.
Yeah, the map doesn't show it. I mean, I've got Belle Island, a Y of Belle Island.
Both images.
It's part of the map that looks like an island.
Right. Well, this is what I was thinking of. This is Belle Island.
Silliness.
And then
it's
the
part that
size.
looks like an island.
Yeah, I mean, there's a little pond, and you can kind of see it past the mountain.
Yeah, there you go. So it's a pretty large, lake. Looks like maybe 1,000 feet across or so. Simon, if you're looking at the Google Maps of Belle Island, this would be the central lake. So not the sliver at the top and not the far right, the bay. It would be literally almost in the center of the island.
Okay.
So that is the northern part.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was gonna say that it's weird how Canada is south.
Yeah.
Good old
All right.
South Canada.
All right, the action's on you all. Nothing happens unless you do something.
I think
You just stand there. That's what happens.
Nord was thinking that we'd run into some human thing.
Does Nord say that out loud?
Yeah, I think.
Okay.
I think I was expecting, guys. I was expecting to see like some humanity or some artifacts.
Are you shouting it
Circle
because
or
no one's
something.
around you?
Oh, well,
Yeah.
I'm probably just talking to myself, mumbling, to myself the whole time. Like he's probably mad at himself, that nothing has worked out quite the way, he's wanted it to, and just like, wow, I think I've led all my friends, and they're all kind of like mixed up in different places, and I feel a little bad.
What are the rest of you doing as Nord is sort of just talking to himself? You
So
hear him.
I'm going down to try and get a better look at the lake. And
Yep,
when I
you get
there,
down to the... You go on.
when I get there, I'm going to bid border guard. And the reason I'm going to bid that is because my job has been on the river all this time. And I think I would have a pretty good idea of what the skyline of Windsor and Detroit looks like. And if I know which one I'm looking at, I can pretty much figure out which side of the island I'm on and where we're at.
You have this in mind, Toni, as you descend down into this sort of bowl, and you see this oval lake extending out before you. If it weren't for just a little bit of water that's coming down, it would almost look like a mirror. You look up and you see the trees, the canopy is a little bit thinner here above you, but it's still thick enough to where all of that torrential downpour is being shed off, and you can see bits and pieces. You can see maybe a couple streams that are being fed into this lake. Perhaps that's the reason the lake exists. It's hard to know. The lake does seem quite deep, just from the very deep azure color of it. Very clean, clear, not clear, sorry, a very clean, fresh water. That said, as you look around, you're down in this bowl. You can't see either shore. You can, however, see on the other side of this. First, maybe the first thing that, since you are looking around for a shore, the first thing that you spot is an obvious path. It's on the far end. Again, stone stairs or whatever they're made of, hewn. There's 2 posts next to them. Looks like maybe light posts, but you don't see any lights on top of it from this distance, and there's no light coming from it. And the path leads up that way into the forest. So you see 2 paths, one out ahead, and then the one you just came down.
Guys, and I yell, guys, there's a path here. Get over here. Get down here. There's a way to something.
Cool. Let's go that way.
Leah will go ahead and start heading that way. Carefully.
As Toni says this, you guys up top, so Simon and Leah, you're, a few hundred feet up. His voice carries across the water and kind of echoes, so you can just barely hear it. Simon, what are you doing up there? You notice Leah and Mariah turn around and start descending back to where Nord is.
I'll head back as well. And try to climb.
Why don't you make a I'll have you throw down wits as you were up here.
Wits. Two.
With 2 successes, you look around. You do get a narrative point. You look around, and as you're descending, perhaps maybe almost grumbling that you didn't find what you were looking for, and you're going to have to traverse that grade after all. You see something stuck in the dirt on top of the hill, maybe just a little bit further. It does not look natural. It looks
like the opposite direction.
Yeah, like 20 feet from where you were standing. As you're starting to descend, you just happen to look over and see something kind of sticking out of the ground. It looks small, palm-sized.
Leah, I think I see something. You guys go on. I'll catch up. And I'll go look at it.
Okay, be careful.
As you go over there, investigating it, you see, maybe squatting down, looking, you see a pack of cigarettes. It's crumpled up, not like it's been thrown away like litter, crumpled like maybe what was in someone's hand and they squeezed it. You see that there's a few cigarettes actually in it still.
Okay. I'll make a note of the brand.
You see it is Noblesse, which is Noblesse. And we'll say there's 3 cigarettes in the pack if you want to take them.
I'm not going to, but I want to make a note. I want to make a note so that way if I see somebody else smoking them or run across someone. And then I'll head back to join the rest.
You do. As you guys get back to where Nord is, how are you guys getting down this grade?
Can
Or are you just
bid-
slip and slide?
Can I teach these guys some rock climbing? Is that as a trait that I have?
There's no rock climbing. Like there's no
not-
jugs or crimps
climbing?
to descend. This
yeah,
is more
climbing. It's more
like
like
hiking?
climbing, like hiking, climbing.
You can use it. You can use it.
It seems like
definitely not the same
they're
skill.
very. It's not like we're dangling. It's just like just kind of guide them through, like don't step on that rock because that rock is loose.
So basically, what you're doing is you're aiding them in your descent.
Can I aid them in the descent? Because this is kind of like my natural. Like I'm very comfortable in the woods, and
I dig it.
Okay,
so that's what you bid. That's what you bid to get down. What is your grace?
My grace
Mm-hmm.
is 4.
So
V8.
you guys descending this, you can either bid or you can throw down. Up to you. As Nord is doing what he's doing, kind of showing you the right way. Okay.
And calculating is my nature, so that's what I'll do.
As you all start descending, still following.
And I will I'm also bid Mom just to make sure that Mariah gets down safely too.
Hey, we're gonna give you a pip for that.
Yeah.
For remembering the NPC.
Well, that's what I was
Sorry,
talking about,
Mom.
aiding them.
Yeah, wait.
Literally.
Right. So, as you guys all make it down to the bottom, Nord pretty much showing you where to step and where not to step. With his aid, you don't have to throw down at all. Mariah is following close behind you, Leah. As you all get down there, and you find Toni still standing there. Hey, guess what? The action's on you all.
So where's this path?
It's over there. Look at it.
Okay, when I was up higher, it looks like this lake has been man-made. There's stones and stuff around it, so I don't know if it originally was here or not.
Right now we're looking for something man-made. So yeah. Good.
Well, let's head over to this other path. See where it
Yeah,
goes.
let's walk around. I don't. It's a lake, okay? Maybe it'll splash when we walk away. Let's try that. Just trust me. Let's walk away and see if it makes a splash. I know it sounds crazy.
Mariah looks up at you and goes, "What are you talking about?"
Just let's give it a shot.
I mean, okay, I guess.
Nord grabs a rock and throws it in the water.
As Nord, in fact, gets a rock and chucks it, sploosh. As you all are walking around this lake, you hear, of course, the water falling into it. You hear the splash of Nord throwing the rock in it. Beyond that, just the sound of the forest, the rain coming down all around you, etc. It's the exact same thing. Nothing is happening. There's a strange feeling. You guys have experienced so many otherworldly seeming, or hard to explain occurrences, one after another, within just hours of another. You're like millennials on TikTok, craving for the next thing, and there's a nervousness maybe that occurs as you're at this lake. It is serene. Nord, you still being high, this is the source, or one of the sources on the island you feel sort of a draw to. Being around here, the place almost resonates like you're inside of a womb or an egg, with some kind of power that seems like it's in the lake, deep, asleep, perhaps.
Is it a comfortable or a terrifying feeling?
It's there. You don't know. I mean, it's kind of up to you. But
Like,
there's almost like a claustrophobic feeling from the rain and such. I think the thought could cross any of your minds at this point. Whatever this place is, whatever happens here, it's not happening right now.
well, I think we should
There might be
head back.
There might be things
Go
to
ahead, that's it.
find. There might be things to find, but it's not going to come out and get you. It's like you've walked into like a closed mall.
It's not time yet.
It's almost like you spent a narrative point so that the person that was gonna be here isn't. And now you wonder why there's no one here.
Yeah,
For example.
Yeah. They were getting their groceries
So
that day.
use it for your advantage, or just walk away from every clue you find. Yeah, the action is on
think we should-
you all.
I think we should get out of here. I don't think there's anything happening here.
I mean, that
That was
sounds like
what-
all the more reason to have a look around while it's quiet.
Yeah, it's true. But let's follow this path that Toni found. See where it takes us.
Okay.
I think that's a plan.
We go deeper into the dungeon. Awesome. Is that where you guys go?
Yeah. This
Do you
lake is
investigate
too,
anything about this place, or do you just roll?
I
Both are
do
fine.
I do feel like I'm gonna bid, if this is man-made, I'm gonna bid journalism and try and like make a mental note to do some research on why they turn this into a lake versus
Sure. Yeah. Just make a note that you actually did it.
Yeah. Or maybe can I use a pip to say that I actually did research this lake?
Yeah, you can.
Can I and why this is man-made versus not?
So go ahead and spend the journalism
I'm
and
gonna do one more
drop the
thing.
pip to say that you have done it. Hold on 1 second. What were we saying, Tony?
I am going to try and flip up some of these rocks that look kind of conspicuous.
Okay. Are you going to bid anything? Or you're just doing it?
I'm just gonna do it.
All right. You see Tony starting to unearth some rocks. We'll have a random roll for you in a second. As Nord, you spend your pip. It turns out that you actually have done a little bit of research on the island. There's not much. There's a lot of history, but it's a bunch of myth. One of the things is the legend of the White Doe, which is a Native American tale. Supposedly, a white doe is sometimes seen on Belle Island. It's linked to several different mythos, monsters, as well as some stories, some Native American stories. It's tied to a chief that lost his daughter, and ostensibly the daughter is the white doe. There's more to it. We'll say that you were flipping through it, pretty quickly in the library and such. But there is that bit. As you'd focused a little more on the lake, you know the name of this lake. It is the northern, it's quote unquote the northern lake. It's called Lake Muscadet. And supposedly around here, Oh, I'm sorry. I'm wrong. It's lake overflow is what it is. That's my bad. And this is the central lake. I was looking literally at the wrong thing. But you're going to get both information. So there's 2 lakes on that island. One is Lake Muscadet. It's the northern lake, the far northern lake. And then there's Lake Overflow, which this is the one you're at. A central lake. You realize you're at the central lake because seeing that it looks man-made, it is it's a place where with rainwater and when the river is up, this lake fills up, and there are times when the water elevation or the water level drops significantly. Hence the name. Lake Muscadet, the northern lake, so further towards the coast. That's where the sightings of the white doe supposedly are.
I relay this as we're walking together. I relay this information to everyone.
Toni, we're gonna give this a fate roll. So, who wants to roll fortune? Who wants to roll false fortune?
I'll roll fortune.
I'll roll false fortune.
All right, here are the stakes. Fortune. You will find a clue. One of the clues that you all probably will not find because you walk past it. So you'll find one of the clues with the adventure. It may not be a good thing, but you'll find one. False fortune. You will find one of the rattlesnakes. By the way, out of game, there are in fact rattlesnakes in Detroit. Continue.
$30.
16.
And who is fortune? Who is false fortune?
I'm
Yeah, it
false
was fortune.
Uh-oh.
I'll spend one of my proficiencies to reroll.
Yep.
Okay. 91.
47.
Hey. As you are starting to lift this rock, Toni, Simon and Leah, you hear this in the distance of a rattlesnake somewhere. And in fact, you'll hear Mariah shriek as she points the opposite direction. Is that a snake? As both of you see this little snake tail go across the lake into the woods. Toni, you lift up the rock looking underneath it, and what do you find? What does he find? I'm looking at my what you find sheet. As you lift up this rock, and by fate, is this under? Yeah, by fate. By fate compels me. Why would this be under a rock? You just started overturning rocks and you got lucky, perhaps. Who hid it here? Who knows? Who knows? All these thoughts might run through your mind. Why the fuck would someone put this under a rock? I don't know. Doesn't really matter. You find a gun. It is a Derringer, so a little pocket pistol that a lady might It is old, quite old. We'll say you don't know unless you want to bid to know what year it is. But it reminds you of like old-timey something or another. It's rusted.
So it's probably
and it's
not
been-
usable.
Who knows? You have to check it out. But you find this gun under a rock, and it's been here for maybe a while.
I pick it up and I say,
Does everyone have a gun but me? Mariah says.
"Welcome to America." Yeah. So look what I found.
That's a pip. I like that.
Yep.
Because she's foreign. Come on.
Look what I found. Someone stuck a gun under here.
Quick, let's find a monolith so we can shoot at it.
Maybe we should just, well, not with this thing. Probably better off just throwing this thing.
Is it rusted?
It's sure
It has
looks
rust. It has rust on it. Yes.
I say, "Hey, Simon. I mean, I know my own gun, but you probably know a little more about this than I do. Maybe you want to look at this and at least make sure it's not loaded or...
Okay.
Is it a revolver?
It's a Derringer. So it would have two
Derringers
shots.
Usually two-shot pistols, yeah.
They're usually like this big.
Now, you
Have
can
you
get
seen,
pepperbox Derringers, but those are, yeah.
Have you seen Inglourious Bastards, Holker?
No.
Never mind then. Yeah, it's a little tiny pistol. Yeah. You pick it up. He's got this old pistol. You see it's got a pearl handle. There's some gold around it that is not rusted, of course.
I've used revolvers at my job, and I'm going to say I know how to at least check and see if it's loaded.
We bid.
Guard.
As you check and see if it's loaded, in fact, it has one bullet in it. It can hold two. It's this, gnarly slug of a bullet. Do you know what caliber Derringers are?
It depends. Some of them are going to be like 22s. Some of them are going to be more like
It's a 38.
probably, yeah.
We'll call it a 22. Is there a 45 Derringer?
And
That'd
that
be
would
hilarious.
suck. That would suck a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, it would be a 22. And there is a wide bullet in it. You'll note as you've bid and you maybe slide the bullet out of the ready position. You note that there are little squiggly markings engraved on it.
I tell Simon, Simon, are you around?
Yes. This is a big lake.
Come take a look at this.
Okay. I'll take the Derringer and look at it. I'm assuming the runes written on the bullet are the same as on the statue. And the
Very
everywhere
similar.
else. Yep.
Yeah,
Can
go on.
Can I also take a look?
It's up to you. You guys can go over and check it out.
Yeah, I'll go to check
That's
it out.
between you all.
And I would like to bid hieroglyphics to see if I can read them.
As you've tried to do this before, you can sound out a few of the glyphs. Do you say them out loud?
Yeah.
Good. As Leah, where are you?
I'd probably be, I don't know, like on the very edge of the lake while they're doing their thing.
All right. Do we want to bid Mariah to say that she's in a particular spot? Otherwise, she's over with them.
I'm fine with her being with them personally.
Okay. Thunder rolls overhead as Simon, you take the gun and you're looking at the bullet, seeing those runes, and yet again they're very reminiscent of the scribbles you've seen before. As Nord comes over and maybe takes the bullet, and Nord, you're looking at him and you're putting it up to your eye, and with your incredibly dilated eyes, you can feel this bullet special, has some sort of power. It's old. Simon, you're looking at the gun. You can guess it's probably from the 20s. Feels very like speakeasy style. Just from like, the fleur de lis and whatnot, and kind of has like a Frenchy flair or something. Reminds you of New Orleans, of the water, nightclubs, this kind of thing.
Yeah.
As Nord, you're looking at these symbols. You've seen a few of them, and you sound out one or two. It's a strange language. Maybe you didn't even know you could speak, but you've heard it before in your mind.